Hello, class. My name is Nadim Kaiser. I was interested about the public health policy in New York City, so I decided to complete my midterm project on any data that relates to the public policy in New York City. Interestingly, I found a dataset on based on the related to the infant death in New York City that I retrieved from NYS free data website. Uh, and the data website basically gives the number of infant death by year according to their maternal race, ranging from 2007 up until 2016 for 10 years. It shows, like as you can see here on this data set, how many children was born in a specific year, their maternal race, then infants that were aged between day 1 to day 28 and their mortality rate, and infants between the age of 1 month and 12 months and their mortality rate. And to make this dataset more useful, I have added a few additional columns to show, for instance, to show the number of infants or the number of babies born in a specific year, then number of infants died in a specific year. Then also I also group them by their age, like infants below the age of 28 days in the in the neonatal category, and infants between the age of 1 month and 12 months in the postneonatal category. And also, like I showed, the total number of infants, like the rate of infants died in thousands in any specific year. And then, like as you know, that like even though the data set is relatively small, but just looking at this data set does not really going to make any sense to anyone unless it's summarized. So what I decided to do here in my dashboard was to create a summary in a pivot table that shows the number of infant dates, categorizing them by their age, below the age of 28 days in one category, and then between the age of 28 days and 1 year in another category, and also showing the total number of infant deaths and also the total number of babies born in a specific year. And I decided to show the infant death by their maternal race, and the top 3 race that encountered the highest infant deaths on any given year. As you can see, like in 2007, like infants whose maternal race was like black, non-Hispanic, has had the highest number of infant death in this top 3 racial groups. And so it's basically a summary of the entire database that we retrieved from nys.data.gov. And to so my basic objective was to show a summary or a snapshot of that database, and then just looking at these numbers can really be sometime not very meaningful to anyone. and sometimes we would like to like visualize things instead of just like looking at the numbers. So what I did was here to the right in my dashboard, I added a bar chart that shows the total number of infants died within this 10-year period, and I categorize them according to their maternal race. So here currently it is actually filtered by this slicer, but if I just like clear the filtering, I'll see a overall picture of it. So if I take a look, like if you will see that like black non-Hispanic like infants whose maternal race was black non-Hispanic encountered the highest number of death in this 10-year period, like 1,859 infants died of that specific race, as opposed to like 215 for infants whose maternal race was non-Hispanic white. And also like here just right next to it, I added another stacked bar chart to show a contrast between show a contrast for the infant death by their age. So this orange column represents the number of infants that died between the age of 1 month and 12 months, and this blue column basically represents infants that died between the age of day 1 and 28 days or below 1 month. So it, from just by looking at this column chart, it's specifically clear that like infant below the age of 28 days encounters the highest number of death. So it basically makes sense because like their immune system are not that strong compared to the postneonatal infants. And also like I have added these two slicers that is connected to these two very charts to see like if we are interested on any specific year to see like which group actually encountered the highest number of infant death, we can do that. So if I select 2007, I'll see a contrast between for like I'll see the overall picture of infants that died by their race, and also like the death categorized by their age here. So and also like for instance, I want to see a specific race as opposed to seeing the entire group as a whole. So if I just select one group, I can see them more clearly in my pivot chart here. Like this. So and also I can go on like this. So I just like cleared the filtering here to just bring it to the previous stage. And here on the pie chart, actually I showed the percentage of overall infant death that occurred in this 10-year period. So like by the year. So if we just take a look at this whole picture, we'll see that in 2007 approximately infant death was 12% of the entire infant death population, and like it gradually declined, like by 2016 it was only 8%. So based off on this pie chart, we can basically see that like the number of deaths per year has actually decreased, and like what it suggests is that like probably the hospitals had taken enough initiatives to reduce the number of infant death, But if we are further interested to slice it down by the maternal race of the infants, we can see it, like for instance, like if I select like Asian Pacific, I can see that what percentage of the infants whose maternal race was Asian and Pacific died in each year. So the basic objective of my dashboard was to present a overall picture of that, like how the New York City is doing to take care of the health of the newborn babies, and if there were any specific group or race was encountering the highest number of infant death in this city particularly, and like if there is enough initiative taken to overcome or to reduce the number of infant death every year. Thank you everyone for watching this short presentation. Goodbye.